Thank God. My boobs broke my fall. Is it still there? Psst. You, over there. Come over here. What? I know what you're running from. You need to come with me if you want to live. What is that thing? Why is it even after me? Shh, shh, shh. Stop talking. It can hear you. It can feel your movement. It already follows you. It's stalking you. Hush. Stay down. Oh God, no. It found us. Sorry if I haven't been uploading as regularly as I was. At one point, I had a birthday and I was kind of trying to ignore it, and I kind of embraced it. Now I'm kind of feeling happy. It's a weird set of emotions. When I'm happy, I usually want to do productive things, and not saying this isn't productive, but there are some things I've been like not doing that I've started like doing now, so there's that. But I'm back. Birthday break is over. We good. Anyways, hi guys, it's Luna, and today we're going to be talking about something not even related to what I was just saying. We're going to be talking about character design. Now, why, you ask? Because that's been a really big topic for a while now. When it comes to character design, it's such a hard topic to tackle because character design is only one aspect of an entire character. And people think that there's a good character design and one that works and one that is better. And it depends. And I think when people try to simplify it, it kind of makes them sound really dumb. And maybe this is just my opinion. This definitely is my opinion, but I don't ever see a good example of character design. Even looking at just the recent diversity when it comes to cartoons and anime and how their literal art style and designs are literally different. Anime is not the same as like a Steven Universe, you get what I'm saying? Can you say that that design is good? That the art style within the design, or whether it's the same, you get what I'm saying? That is good or bad, because it gets really diverse. Even if you're going with the character design in the sense of the hair, the colors, all of those things, still, there have been characters that are literally like blank canvases that are just blobs of nothing that literally have the worst grayscale you've ever seen in your life that still be popping off. You have characters that are super simplistic. You have characters that have colors that are all over the fucking place, Lunette the Clown and some shit, but they work. It's because it's a part of a bigger conversation than just the design. Example, with the Butch Hartman situation, people were like, well, I think they just hate his commission work because it was shitty. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Butch Hartman copied the pose and character, well, not like a character, I think he was told to draw the character, but he copied the pose like to a T of another artist, and people were just like, but it's a shittier version. I'm like, well, what makes it shitty? What makes this drawing shittier than the other one? Well, the design is ugly and all this, and I'm like, is it? One of the biggest arguments also was that it wasn't like the Fairly Odd Parents design. And I'm like, is that supposed to be better? What makes that design better than the one he's making? And it's like, well, that one's just better, or it's neater. And I'm like, no, it's not. I think, especially because that drawing he made was a sketch, I think what you mean to say is that was more popularized. I grew up with that design thing. No one would care because it's a simplistic design. They're weird proportions. Timmy's teeth are bigger than his hands. It feels like I'm probably exaggerating there, but you get what I'm saying. It's not like they're the best. The colors are sometimes just hard to look at with some characters. It's like very little, by the way, but they're still lovable. And the reason that they're all lovable is because of the character around it. You know what I mean? Like some Timmy Turner-esque shit, some Danny Phantom-esque shit. Those were our shits when we were younger. That was nostalgia trip, and that character on top of that design is now rooted in us. The character goes into a lot of why you like the design. When something just grows on you, it just grows on you. Hell, what's that boy's name? I think his name is Psych. What the fuck? I forget exactly what his name is. This character is supposed to be a killer design. But I like his design. It's simple. It's nice. It's not like I've never seen that design before. It's not like design is terrible, bad, good. It's good because the character is good. Because the character is a very simple character. Well, I wouldn't say simple in the sense of like all the development and whatnot, but I say simple in the sense of you know his character. Hell, you probably know his character before you even watch the damn show. It's not hard to figure out. Honestly, character design seems more like a thin, I would say, layer at the bottom of like a cake or a casserole or lasagna. That kind of means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Now, not saying that's not important. Like before, there are a lot of elements that go into character design, and if your character design is quote-unquote good, but even then, think of it like this. If you have a really simple character design, does that mean your show is automatically bad? If your character design only has one unique thing about it, does that mean it's bad? If your character design isn't necessarily portrayed with a lot of meaning behind it, in the sense of the colors, the themes, where you put things, what elements they have, the horns, tail, things like that. If the colors don't match up with personality, does that make it bad? All the answers to these questions are no, by the way. If you didn't know, they're no. You can use several different things when it comes to character design. Contrast, for example. And when I say design, I'm counting colors and things like that. I always just use design as like, you made a fucking character, man. But you could use contrast, like maybe your character's evil and you use very warm, comforting colors to give off this sense of security, or rather false sense of security. For example, this is a character I made. Her name is Lily. The reason a lot of her colors are very dark or faded is because she's more of like a demon character that more represents evil, but she's still cute. I make her mainly in chibi form. She's really short. She has kind of like a cute little thing. I had freckles for her and forgot them because I'm an idiot. I'll just add some random freckles on there. Got a bowl of freckles. So it's supposed to look somewhat innocent but still give off the color scheme, or at least somewhat of a darker tones color scheme. She may not be as cute as she looks. Do you get what I'm saying? And even then, I'm sure I didn't do this the best I could. This is kind of just like a random thing I thought of, and I probably could have put a lot more thought and work into the contrast of it. And maybe it'll improve. Who knows? It's a character I made less than some weeks ago. My point is that there's a lot of design factors, and there's so many, in fact, that it's kind of hard to be like, oh well, this is good character design because, again, going back to the Butch Hartman thing, you can't just be like, his character and the way he draws is terrible, because it's not what I would consider, and that's kind of the main point, I would consider good. That doesn't mean that it's not universally good. Hell, the Fairly Odd Parents style, I would not consider that good. And people are still just like, no, if I had that, that'd be great. No, it's made good by the actual characters, by the nostalgia given to it, but I wouldn't consider it good. I'm gonna be 100 with you. My Hero Academia, the art style for that, when I first saw it, I was like, it's not looking too great. Hell, I have a poster of it sitting above my fucking head. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'd be very critical of the person who made the art style for this, but because I like the show, well, there's a whole thing about that. Because I somewhat enjoy the show and I enjoy the characters, it kind of adds to the enjoyment of the art style and the way that they're made and all the attributes to it. You know, I still somewhat have a problem with the eyes sometimes from the side. It bothers me a little bit, but that's just me personally. And obviously I'm not one to talk because my art is doo-doo trash and like actual doo-doo water.
Literal doo-doo water?
But do you see my point? When it comes to art, especially character design and stuff like that, it's honestly to the beholder. Literally, you could make stick figure art and somebody out there will find it good. And not even saying that like stick figure art is bad. Genuinely, somebody out there could find the way you make the stick figures, maybe the accessories that you use, the character behind the stick figure. Maybe if you're doing animation and you do really great animation for it, it's good. Ruby's another example. People hate that animation. They hate the characters. They hate the models. My boyfriend was one of them. He would not watch it for shit because he hated how it looked. First few seasons, like first 3 seasons, he was not here for it. He kept telling me how shitty it was, and that's why I couldn't get into it. He didn't like that character design. I loved it, and the reason I liked character design is because it flowed well with the show, it flowed well with the fight scenes. It were added benefits to maybe this kind of little bit janky 3D modeling that made it endearing and great to me. And even though he still somewhat has a problem with the designs, hell, even I have a problem with like the personal designs of like their clothes. That's a whole other video. I hate their clothes a little bit there. And I wish I remembered the rest of my points, but it's like a day later. You know when you're recording, it's like now a day later and you're just trying to figure out what the fuck you're trying to say. I used to write scripts to keep that up, but even then, the scripts would just seem so not human. So, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about what specifically I like in a character design, because I could ramble on about the debate about what's good, what's bad, but that's dumb. So let's talk about what I specifically like when it comes to character design. I hate when people do too much. When your character design is so intricate that when I start drawing it, I'm like, I'm giving up halfway. Like, that's like 2 belts around its neck, 72 belts around the arms. Then you got the belt problem from Kingdom Hearts. It's a whole thing. Just when it's like a lot of buttons, a lot of stuff, maybe it takes it out for me. Unless it's like a fantasy thing or the clothes are projected on. It's like, man, nobody's putting on the 42 belts on this character. No one's putting on the 72 bracelets. You know what I mean? Unless this character is trying to be flashy every day because they're just that into themselves. But every single person in that world is not going to be wearing the most complicated outfit of life. Like, can you not? I hate those types of designs. It's just, they get so cluttered. They're too much. It feels too much at all times. It feels like I'm discovering a new belt or buckle or something every episode. And it's just a lot. And I just hate that. But I also hate like really simple design, you know? Because with those type of designs, it tends to tell too much about the character up front. I like a very, not middle ground, but a very, like, there's a lot of design there. You know, there's a cute skirt and has like accessories to it, but it's not like it looks heavy on them or it looks like they're doing too much. For example, Ruby. Let's go with Ruby because I shit on Ruby a lot, but I do like their characters. Well, that's a lie. I did like their character designs when it came to like volume 6, I believe. Like, example is Blake's design. Even Yang's design in those earlier seasons, and I don't like her potato looking design now. That's what I mean. Like, that's a little bit too simplistic. You could give her some more flavor to her. But I like these designs specifically because they're very simple, but also they add something to the character. And Blake could be wearing these and they're not hard to put on and it's not too much. It's literally like a top, a jacket, or the belt, but she doesn't even buckle it or anything. And then pants, and like I could put all this on. Like, this is the type of layering I would be comfortable putting on that also protects me. And well, with Blake, it's like it protects me. But do you know what I'm saying? Even with Yang, it's like it's comfortable, it fits her style, it's nice, it's breathable, it's not too heavy, it wouldn't impact her in any way, shape, or form. Like, if she was wearing that, she might not feel sluggish. It works for the actual atmosphere. That's one of the most important things. If your outfit or your design does not work with the atmosphere, I'm like, so you're telling me, it's like Weiss's skirt. You're telling me someone who goes through the air, someone that could easily trip on this, someone who is constantly moving per her semblance and shit, would be wearing a long ass skirt. I don't like that design. Like the newest volume, I hated her design. It was her and Nora's design the most.
No.
Jean looked like a douche, but her and Nora's design were just like, ugh, I hate them. Nora's design doesn't fit her character at all. It just is like, we just want to make it just everywhere. And it's like, Nora had a good pattern of just pink, blue, black type, like, feel to it. The last design for her, the little bomber jacket that was cute. It was simple. It seemed like it was breathable. It made more sense for you to do something similar, but make the colors simplistic, have the design look cute, make it look cohesive. Nora's all over the place, but she does have a sense of style and a character. Well, in this volume, we learned that no, she doesn't have anything. She's just nothing, apparently. And I hate her so much now.
No.
My point is, getting off of my hate, my point is, it made sense of why they had it. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like it would ever get in the way. It doesn't seem like it would be uncomfortable. It wouldn't seem like any of that. And especially when it comes to fantasy, games, movies, anime, cartoons, they really tend to do that type of overboard type look because it's fantasy. They want to have that fantasized type look to them. And that works in some cases. And sometimes I let that type of shit go because of maybe everything else is good. I just don't like the, outfits and shit. But it gets a little bit played up. When people want this really fantastical look, you also have to think of it practically sometimes. And, sometimes you can just be like, I want the fairy to be wearing a tooth the entire time. And that's just what it is. Like, how will it be doing that? Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. You can do that. That's fine. But sometimes I'm just like, I rather it be a bit more practical. It kind of works with the character as well. Sometimes just like that really fantastical look. Like when you have a character that literally has the character of being kind of like plain Jane, like they don't like too much of everything, but they still have sparkles and glitter in their eyes and like 7 pants on and then like a whole thing. It's like, okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Do you get what I'm saying? You also have to take into accountability the character, who they are, and what they might do. Even in fantasy, you still have to take that into accountability, especially nowadays when like everything can be anything. I think that little nuance of actually caring about the character design and what you're putting on the character and how it looks. But then again, I just rambled on for way too long about characters and making them and how they look and all that shit. So I'm gonna not, and I'm going to stop talking about it right now. I don't know what I drew in the background, but tell me if you like it. If you want to see the finished drawing, usually I post all of my drawing on Instagram, Twitter as well, but you'd probably be better off going to Instagram. If you want to see it before anybody else sees it, it would probably be on Discord, because I just post my art on Discord and like, the sketches and the outlines and ask questions and to be like, does this skirt make her look fat? But not all the time, but you get what I'm saying. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. BB.
We could have been stardust, same world but without us.